Your Majesty, a brief report on Seanchan command and control. What was, what will be, and what is may yet be spoiled by this report, which contains major spoilers for Season 2, Episode 5 of this turning of the Wheel of Time, and lore spoilers for Book 2 describing Last Turning. Our eyes and ears indicate that, in a recent incident on Toman Head, 3 young women who can channel were brought to a member of the Seanchan blood on horseback to be enslaved as damane. At the direction of the member of the blood in command, they were first lowered from the horses but not yet detained. The soldiers then waited for the member of the blood to conclude her argument with the woman who had brought them to her, before finally ordering her troops to seize them.
Bring them to me.
This allowed 2 of the 3 women to evade capture. Privately, there was some consternation among low-level leaders, the non-commissioned officers they called standard-bearers and soldats, that the escape even happened at all. Some of them expressed frustration that they could not exercise initiative and retain control of the women immediately after receiving them from the horses. It was clear that lower-level leaders in the so-called ever-victorious army are under orders to only take action with direct approval from their superiors. This applies to higher echelons of command as well, albeit in a more general and less severe way. Reports indicate this same member of the blood was recently demoted for attacking a village she was not specifically ordered to.
You disobeyed an order. You invaded a village without permission.
A low-level leader, though, may have been executed for acting prematurely in a much smaller undertaking. This all stands in stark contrast with many armies in the Westlands, including most of the Borderlands, the Iliana Companions, and Your Majesty's own guards, who are not only authorized but expected to take necessary action in the absence of orders from superiors. The Seanchan likely experience all the same general problems that Tyr's military does, which, unsurprisingly, shows excessive commitment to a rigid hierarchy. They will often be slow or even unable to adjust to new, unexpected developments on the battlefield, often gaining requisite approval for what is obviously the correct response after such actions are no longer possible. Tactical level leaders in these sorts of militaries must alert their superiors of a situation, wait for the superiors to decide on a course of action and issue relevant orders, and receive and comprehend these orders before taking action themselves. Further, in even the most flexible of organizations, junior leaders are generally incentivized to tell their superiors good news wherever possible. For Tyr's military, this has often led to tactical level leaders withholding critical but unpleasant news from their superiors, while taking as little action as possible. This even as they attempted to mask both the effects of and their own inaction to address said news. This usually falls on the lowest ranks, who often suffer needless casualties while their leaders worry about how much they can do without enraging their superiors. This outcome would be especially pronounced in the Seanchan military, which has an even more rigid hierarchy where superiors hold near absolute power over their subordinates.
I do not make mistakes.
As a result, we can expect the Seanchan High Blood to have a generally poor grasp of the tactical situation for their troops, who will suffer an unnecessarily high number of casualties. Once again, the Seanchan army presents us with a weakness we can exploit. Perhaps we have a chance against them after all. Lastly, I must address rumors that the daughter heir has left the White Tower for Gawain's name day festivities. This is, of course, preposterous. Gawain's name day was 6 months ago, though we are still repairing the damage he single-handedly caused with his mishap during the festivities. We have dispatched a pigeon to Tarvalon, pressing the tower for answers. No doubt this is all a simple clerical error, and the Lady Lane is performing a brief but well-earned penance on a farm just outside of Tarvalon or the like, and we have nothing to worry about. Your Majesty, this concludes our report. Forward the White Lion of Andor. My ladies and lords of the Westlands, rulers from sundry lands, if you find the reports my clerks and I produce to be helpful, as you labor in the service of your people, do honor us with your raised thumbs, patronage, and subscriptions. Until our next report.